Hello. Happy Monday, everybody. Can you believe that we're finally here again? It's just incredible how the time flies. Just making sure I've got my sound down and that we are live because, I have been known to be somewhere else but where I'm meant to be. So I hope everyone's had a great week. The weather has been a mixture. Today I felt has got colder as the day's gone by, but that's life, isn't it? So anyway, we are ready for another week. Demonstrators are getting ready for pre-order, which is available tomorrow, if I'm right. We can start tomorrow for our January to April mini catalogue. So this is another catalogue coming out. There are some new online exclusives coming out in December. So there's a lot happening. I will also remind you out there that if you're looking for something for someone as a Christmas gift, why not buy a kit? And if you jump online to my store and go and have a look at our kits, you will find lots and lots of ideas for all ages, whether they be tags, cards, whatever. And there's some new ones coming out, which I'm hoping will be really great. And I've got my eye on it for my great-grandchildren because I think they would love that. So if it's coming out when I'm hoping it is, it'll be a lovely Christmas present that I can grab one beforehand, which is an advantage of being a demonstrator. You can see the products in advance and order in advance, which means you can play with them before they are actually available, which is a bonus. So anyway, for those who don't know me, my name is Anita Mazzero, and I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Horsham, Victoria, Australia. So if you see the little red live, you know that I am live on Facebook. Now, as you know, Facebook have decided that 30 days, it's long enough to leave a live there. I don't believe it's long enough because sometimes we want to go back and have a look. So after today, I have been doing this for some time now, all my lives have gone to YouTube. So you can have a look at YouTube, and if you're following me on Facebook, you will see a link to the YouTube channel. And I suggest you subscribe to that as well, because who knows what Facebook are going to do down the track. I may be doing lives directly from YouTube. Who knows? I don't even know myself. YouTube is somewhere I need to learn a bit more. I've got a couple of grandsons that are very cluey on YouTube, one in particular. But to get them long enough to talk to them, to work out what to do, is something that I don't know will happen. But anyway, that's what we have grandchildren for. The younger generations are the ones that know what's going on. So anyway, if you're watching, please pop in, say hi. If you're watching the replay, even say hi. I just would like to know that you're here and that you're watching. For me, it's great to know that I've got people watching and where you're watching from. When I'm watching somebody else, I like to let them know that I'm at least watching, and it also helps them because, it's easy to get discouraged and think that no one's watching. Anyway, I'm going to flip the camera down and we will talk about the new products. The Brushed with Beauty is what I'm going to be using today, which is a beautiful suite, and I'll go through that as well. And I'll also show you a little tip that I personally find works for me when it comes to the new packaging, especially for our stamps. And I think, to me, it was a game changer. When I first saw somebody show me this, it blew me away, and I thought, this is what I have to do. So we will flip the camera down and we will go and have a look at what we're going to do. So get this down and zoom in. Sometimes it wants to do it when I come on, and other times it just doesn't play. It does not like to play safe. But who knows, just don't look at my messy desk. This has been like this since I've come back from our cruise, and I haven't been 100% well to even be, well, the cough's much better than it was, and I'm starting to come back into the craft room, which is great. Last week I showed you all of our November products, which is this here. This is what we're going to be using today, the Brushed with Beauty Sweet Collection. It's got stamps, 2 sets of stamps, 2 dies, great vellum paper back again, our dots, and an embossing folder. So there's lots here, and I will go through that where you can see it a little bit more. And then there's other sweets. There's the Hobby Haven, which is all to do with crafts, various sort of crafts that are available. And then there's lots of bundles, which are there and available at the moment. And I know my gorgeous friend Jacinta, who can't be with us today, she has used this beautiful Valentine's Kisses bundle. And it's a cute one. And when she spoke about it last week, I wasn't sure which one she was referring to, but it's that one. And I think it would make a cute wedding card. There's some great ideas, but there's a whole lot more. There's cakes, there's, you name it, there's a lot there. So if you're not a demonstrator and you don't know how to get hold of one of these packs, just pop a message, private message to me in Messenger with your email address, and I will pop one through in the mail to you so that you can get one of these and you can then flick through, because I don't know about you, I'm a catalogue person. I like to look through it, study it, mark it, and go from there. So that's what we're doing. So the Brush with Beauty is what I'm using today. Now this also Stamping Up creating a class. And it's something they've just started, just recently, where they come along and would do an online class. Now you'll need the products for the Brush with Beauty. Oh, excuse me. So you will get the, you need to get the suite. Now, if, of course, you're not sure if it's what you want, you can buy the class and you can get the products later on, because once you've got the video, you've got it there. So the class, if you're interested in the class, the code number in Australia is 170074, and it's $53. So that's on top of your Brush with Beauty. So you will get to make products and get some tips and ideas, which I think will be really good. Today is the 17th, and today, if you order one today, the class today, you get access to the Facebook page. After today, it's leaving it too short, but you'll still get access to the class. So we'll move them all out of the way, and I'm going to bring in our paper. And as you can see, I've been using the paper. Hello, Lucia, you are back. You've purchased the class this time too. Yeah, I am. I'm going to do it too. I realised that today is the last day, and I'm going to give it a go because they're offering it, and I don't know what it's about. So, yeah, it's definitely something that I will be looking forward to as well. I'll be doing that straight after this class. Right, so this paper is so pretty. It is just glorious. Oops, turn that the right way. So they've got beautiful pieces. So, I mean, as I said, I've had a little play, hence why the papers are like they are. We've got there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it's another piece that I'm missing. Just got to work out which one piece it is. So how was Las Vegas, Lucia? Are you worn out? Oh, you've only just got home. Oh, heavens. Wow. I bet you're exhausted. So this is one of the sides of the papers. Have a look at that. How pretty are they? This one and this one are the same papers, but one's in the Darling Duckling and one is in, I would say, crumb cake. It's a lovely look. But the flip side, this one's got a lovely pink. This one with the flowers has got this design on the back. This beautiful crumb cake and cream. And it's got the green. And this reminds me of the camouflage look. And you've got that. You've got the Calypso Coral. You've got the flowers on this one. And you've got that beautiful, sort of like a Lost Lagoon look. And then you've got this one and you've got a stripe on the other side. So these are the papers that belong to the suite. Now with the suite also comes stamps and dies. So I'm just putting them there. So you've got a stamp set with the flowers and you've got the dies. Hello, Miss Leone. How are we? Now what I found, and I'll show you with the stamp set that I haven't done because I'm going to show you here. When the stamp sets come in the new packaging, there's one thing missing. I've got a stamp set here of our old one. And what we always had was a sample. And there's no sample anymore. So that makes it really difficult when you want to find out if you're missing anything. So what I found and what I've done, I'm going to show you. Pull this back like so. Now, yes, my pieces will come apart. I have stamped my images so that I can pop them on there and know that I've got all the pieces. Half of them are over on this side. So what I'm going to do, I didn't do this one very well because that was my first go at it, but I'm going to do it with the second set. And I'm going to show you how I went about it. So as you can see, it comes with a solid piece of, I'll call it window sheet, and then a very flimsy piece. So the first thing I'm going to do is pull the flimsy part off. I'm going to get some basic, I was going to use grey granite, but I'm going to use basic grey because we want to be able to read the set. So I'm just going to stamp, while they're all on the plastic sheet, just going to come across and stamp this on here. Very carefully pick it up and pop it on my page. Just gently rub it. And then lift it off. And it did not go the way I wanted it to go, because I obviously smudged it. But I'll fix that up later. I'm going to, I'll put a piece of cardstock. I probably should have taken the piece to it. But this is the idea. Just don't look at the way I made the mess. But the idea is that you use it, and then after you've done it, because you've got it all on there, and I'm going to put another piece because it is so smudged, really don't know what I did with that. I'm just going to clean the... I am making more of a mess now. It worked beautifully the first time, which is what I did on this one. But you've got to make sure this dries before you do anything. So if I show you this one again, so I did on this one. And then I stuck down the piece of acetate, one each end, because that then protects, and put that together and it protects it. Well, that's true. I will know. It's just I've knocked it about quite a bit. But I'll show you what I did in the process on this one, because, you know, I keep dropping the stamp set on it and everything, you know. Law of averages. If you do it live, it goes everywhere. So as you can see, on this one, if I put it down this way, they're all going to match up. So this thin piece that I've got, I'm going to take and I'm going to put some strips of acetate, on the acetate, I'm going to put some strips of adhesive. Let's put a few strips on. And I've gone way too long because I couldn't see what I was doing. It would probably help if I put something underneath it, wouldn't it? You know, the law of averages of making mistakes. Anita's going to do it, Anita's going to do it. So take that off and just get all this off my fingers. When you don't want them to come off, they decide they're going to stick like anything today. Okay, and I'm going to take my Take Your Pick tool, and I'll just get the right side, Anita, and I'm just going to peel these off. Just gently lift these off. And then I'm going to take that piece and I'm going to lay that down over these here. Just like so. So then I can take this, and this will now sit over the images, nice and straight. And then I'm going to take my tape once again. Yes, it is. It's a bit hard that they haven't got the images, and let's face it, it was one of the easiest ways of knowing it, that you had something missing. And I suppose they think, oh, well, we've got it on the front. But it's not the front that you needed. So anyway, as I said, I've just done this. And the more I do this, I mean, these are the only two sets that I've got at the moment with the new packaging. And I'm just going to peel them. So like you say, even though it might be a bit messy and that doesn't matter. And then I'm just going to take this and run that over. Nice and flat. And then when I need to open it, there's my words all sealed up. And by keeping the two sheets together, I'm also keeping this nice and flat and keeping dust away. So then you can pop it into your sleeve and you know that you've got those images there. Yeah, look, you might be right, Leonie. Time will tell whether or not this will continue this way or not. I think there'll be quite a few people that will say that they don't like the fact that they can't see the images. Yes, I know this is great here, but I'm not going to stick them to this because this is larger than what I've got. So, yeah, so that's what I've done at the moment. Oops. And that's what you do not do. See? Just peeled it a bit too hard, but I'll fix that up in a moment. All right. If anything's going to go wrong today, it's going to go wrong for me, isn't it? So this is the beauty of the fact. So there's 4 packaging and there's 1 of the other. So you can see that it's certainly going to be space saving. And if you wanted to really save space, you could put your dies and your stamp sets together in one package because it will fit. But, so we'll move on from that today. Right, after making a big mess, and let's hope our card will be all right. You suppose if the North American demos don't complain, if they complain, it will be amended. Yeah, I think you're right, Leonie. Time will tell. Anyway, so I'm going to make a card out of our Brush with Beauty. So what I've gone and done is I've done a lot of the cutting and that beforehand because I didn't think you wanted to spend an hour watching me die cut. So I've got a piece of Mossy Meadow, 21 centimetres by 14.9, scored at 10.5. So I'll fold that in half and burnish that fold beautifully with my bone folder. And that'll give it a nice, good, crisp, flat fold. I've then gone and cut a piece of Petal Pink, 10 centimetres by 14.4. I've got 2 pieces of those. I've got a piece of white, 9.5 centimetres by 13.9. And I've got a piece of our DSP, 9.5 centimetres by 13.9. So this is what we're going to use. When I played around with colours, I looked at what I felt was going to bring the pattern paper out. So when I put these together on my card, I felt that really helped lift that paper. The colours in it are so beautiful. The brush strokes that you can see in the paper is just gorgeous. And so we've got this lovely lot of colour. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this piece flat to the Petal Pink. And I did do something else beforehand so that you can have a look at the same time as another way of using this paper, and a different sheet of paper as well. So I'm going to glue that together, and then I'm going to get my dimensionals, and I want to put this on dimensionals. So, Leonie, I noticed you went to Melbourne and had a great time having a look at the Lego exhibition. I bet that was fun. Okay, plenty of dimensionals on the back. Don't ever skimp on dimensionals because you really need them to stop your card from sagging. And believe me, I have done it where I've skimped on it, and then when I've gone to dig the card out later on, I've got a mess because it's sagged. Okay, we're going to pop that on there. We're going to have our mossy green. How pretty is that? So you're going to help me. I've cut out 2 circles using the Spotlight on Nature, and this one I have embossed. And this is the embossing folder. And I don't know about you, but this reminds me of paper toweling. It's very much that paper toweling look. And when you feel the texture, you know how you can buy your paper towelings rough on one side and smoother on the other? That's exactly what it reminds me of. So I want to use the circle. So I'm either going to use the one with the pattern, and this is where you guys are going to come in, or the plain one. So there's a different look. So if I bring that closer, you can see. So with the plain, it's just going to be a much more subtle look underneath. But with the embossed, it actually brings that more or less like a little bit of colour. Yes, it's a gorgeous embossing folder, isn't it, Lucia? It is so sweet. I really love it. I think it's one that's very versatile. So you can let me know do I use the embossed or the non-embossed? So we've got the two circles here. So that will go on our card. So if I lay them like that, you can tell me which one you would like for it. So that's what I'm going to have on our card. So while we're waiting, well, you like the embossed, Lucia, I'm not surprised. I've got a piece of pink and the Petal Pink and the Mossy Meadow. Now I'm going to go and use the word because I want to use that word. Because can mean anything on, and this, because I'm making this as a birthday card, I'll be using the word it's your birthday. So because is perfect. So I'm going to use these two pieces here. You've actually got 3 layers if you wish. I was actually liking, wow, 8 million Lego bricks. Oh my God, my boys would have loved that. Even today, at their ages, I'm sure that they would go and see that. So as I said, there's 3 layers to the because, but I'm only going to use 2 today. So I'm going to do the green and the pink. Now what I've done on the pink, I've already put a piece of adhesive sheet because we know why we use adhesive sheets, because trying to put glue on a piece that's going to be quite tiny. So I'll cut that out. That one cut out. I don't know about anybody else, but my mini cut and emboss machine would have to be my favourite. So I'll just take that out. Now I'm going to be very careful, and I'm going to leave that in there, and you'll see why when we get down the track on this. So I'm going to cut out the layer. So as you can see, you can do 3 layers if you wish, but I'm only using 2 for this one. And there's that piece. I'll pop this away. Really, Lucia? We should use the adhesive sheets. Okay, well, we're going to go for the embossed piece of paper. Now, what I might do is, so I don't lose anything, because anything's possible, I'm just going to carefully poke out the pieces that I won't need, these little pieces. Are you planning to go live today, Lucia, or are you going to go to bed early and rest? Because you must be out of whack for times with American times. And I think I have put this the wrong way round. How stupid am I? Let me just have a look. It's not my day today, is it? Maybe I haven't. I thought I was pretty sure I was done it the other way. I don't know. I can tell I have not been right since I've been crook. Try and get this to lift out to see if I've got it the wrong way. No, I've got it the right way. Now I'm just going to try and lift the piece of embossing. I'm just going to lift a little bit up. There we go. Because it still looked pink, it made it very difficult for me to realise that it was not, that I hadn't put it the wrong way. I've done that before today. I don't know about anybody else, but I had put it the wrong way around. Of course you are. Okay. Now I'm just leaving that in there. Well, it's not going to work because I took it out. Very carefully, We don't want to stretch it. We don't want to do anything. I'm going to take that and lay that in place. And I'm actually loving those two colours together. Beautiful's that. So pretty. Okay. So I'm going to use that. I've got lots and lots of die cuts that I have done in advance. So I'm thinking, and I did not put any adhesive on the back of this one because I want it to be a little bit organic, a bit loose. So I'm thinking of putting a piece of this. Also got some, and I don't think I'll use that because now that I've got the layer, I don't need it. So I've got this one cut out. I'm thinking of using that. And then I've stamped our two-step stamps. So I've stamped this in Darling Duckling that I've stamped off for the main part, and then I've used Early Espresso for the centrepiece. So I'm thinking, because there's a bit of yellow in there, I want to bring out the yellow, but I'm also looking at the Calypso Coral, and I've stamped that on pink. And I've just used the outside of that one because I'm thinking I can probably use that for a bit of colour. I might put that one down this side because there's lots of colour in here. And then I thought maybe some cloud cover because there's that little bit down the bottom here. Oh, look at that. How pretty is that? It keeps up with the three flowers in there. I might even cut this one into a couple of pieces. Now, the thing is, because I've got it on vellum, I'm going to organise my pieces. So I'm thinking I'm going to pop that like so, but I'm going to get a glue dot. And with the glue dot, I'm just going to put piece, and I'm going to hold that, work out which way I want the flower to go, and I'm going to put that piece like so. So it will be sitting in there, like so. And I'll get a dimensional, and I'm going to put one behind here. I'll just take off the backing. I'm also going to give this a little bit of a scrunch up. Those leaves, a bit of a scrunch, because you know flowers, you go out in your garden and have a look, they're not flat. Now work out where this is going to go, work out where I want the greenery to go. So I'm going to pop that like so. I'm popping that on there, so I can see where I'm going to go. So I was going to put this up there, but then I looked, I'm going to clash the colours together. So I decided I'm going to bring it down here, and I thought I might pop that just up here like so, and a bit further down, I think, where it's more of the white. So again, I'm going to take a dimensional, and I'm going to scrunch it all up and pop my dimensional just in here, sort of overlapping it a little bit. It's sort of behind and it's not. I've got this cloud cover one, and I'm going to put another dimensional on the back of that. I'll take that off, and I'm going to pop that this way round and pop it there. Now I've cut these little pieces of greenery are designed for layers of one of the leaves. But, you know, when I saw it, this is what I saw, a bit of colour in underneath the leaf. So just to give some greenery in there as well. So this one I'll put on with a glue dot. And just take that, pop that in place, give it a little bit more greenery. And got a piece stuck to my fingernail. Pop that one under there. And then I'm going to pop this one. This is such a beautiful suite, and it'll be really lovely to see what Stampin' Up! Do in their class, because I've not done one of their classes before, and I think it'd be nice to see what they do. I'm just going to pop this one down in here. I want a little bit of greenery popping around. And I'm going to take, so it's going to sit like so, but I want to take this leaf as well. I'm going to bring it up and cut this one apart. So I'm just going to follow the imaginary line of the leaf, and then I'll just, because you're not going to see that underneath. And this long one, I'm not happy with that. I might just put this one in under here, create a bit of fullness. So again, I'm just going to get a glue dot. This is, when I started this, I had no idea what I was going to do. So you are watching me completely from scratch today. Right, there we go. I'm happy with that. Might put that on a bit more of an angle. I like the fact that I've got colour that matches the colour in the background. So now I'm going to take this. Whoops, that didn't. Thought I'd stuck that down, but obviously I didn't. Or the glue dot went somewhere where it shouldn't have, like stuck to me. It was, okay. Now, because I can see on the back of this where I can glue, it makes it a lot easier. So I'm going to, I know I can see by the dimensionals. I'm going to pop a dimensional where each of the dimensionals are. And then I can tell down here and up here where the big leaves are, I'm going to put a dimensional. So vellum is very good for hiding. You do not put glue or a piece of dimensional where you can see it, because it will show through, and that's the downside of vellum. If you use a full sheet of adhesive, then it will adhere to the whole thing as a, and you won't notice the difference underneath. Okay, so I'll take that, and we're going to pop that just like so. And I wanted that look, I wanted that loose look up here. So now I'm going to use the word because, and I want to put that like so. And I'm going to put dimensionals under there. And I'll pop that up there. So I'll pop some dimensionals. There's some big ones here. And grab a small one in there. And I'll pop these. And I'll pop that right there. And because I didn't stick that down, it didn't matter because that has stuck that together. Now I'm going to stamp a piece of pink. Yep. I'm going to get my Petal Pink and get my stamps. And it's your birthday, and I'm going to sit that on my glass mat, line it up nice and straight, and grab a block. Now I think I'm going to get some Mossy Meadow. Yep, I think that will look really nice. If it doesn't, I'll test it on a piece of scrap first. Yeah, I think that will look really nice there. My Mossy Meadow's gone really funny, so I've got to really make sure that it stamps well. So I'm going to stamp that there. And then I'm going to get the die in the die set for the lady. I've got this beautiful long one, but it's longer than what I want because it should fit really nicely in the centre there. So take that. Again, grab my plates. Now I use plate number 3 as well as 2 plates number 2. So I'm going to pop this in, line that up, make sure it's nice and straight. That's what is going to happen, isn't it? So I'm going to try that again today. I'll put some tape to hold that in place. Because the way my day's gone, anything's possible. I was going to shorten it, but I've decided not to for this one. I'll move that out of the way. And I'm going to pop that like so over here, but I want some ribbon. And I've got a little bit of this gold twine left. I'm not sure if it's still available, but it's this. I must have been doing something with this. Don't know what. Put it back in there, I'll remember what I was doing with it. I obviously shredded it for some reason. Yeah, I am keeping it real today. I have to tell you that, definitely. So I'm going to tie a nice big double bow, and I'm just going to do, let's loop 1, and then I'm going to come around and do a second loop, which is my second bow. Yeah. For some reason, they don't want to cut. Having one of those days. Okay, so I've got my 2 loops. Come round. And I'm going to pop that through the loop. And not through there though. There's my double bow. Nice big one. I'm thinking I'm going to pop that like so. Keep that thread. I'll trim that in a minute. So I'm going to put some dimensionals. I'll just use some mini dimensionals on this one. And I'm going to use a glue dot to hold my bow in place. So I'll just sit that there. I'm going to pop that like so. I'm actually very happy with the way this has turned out, you know. And I'll pop that like so. And I thought I would. I'm going to need a second dimensional right at the end. I've just taken the top off. I'm going to pop that on there. Because remember, I've got dimensionals underneath. And I don't want that knot to be nice and flat. I'll trim this bit off. And there we go. Look at that. I'm really happy with that. Now with these, the gems, look at the beautiful gems. They are called Pearls of Beauty. And they come in crumb cake, Calypso Coral and white. And I'm thinking I might use the Calypso Coral. I think that would look really nice with this. So I'm just going to pop my usual 3. Work out where I want them to sit. Put one right in here. Here's a large one and a couple of small ones. I'm just going to pop them in a triangle. Look at that. There we go. Look at that. Look at the colour. Very, very pretty. Very lot of colour. So now I'm going to go and work on the inside. So I'm wanting a bit of colour in here. So I'm going to use, I've got some, the right one, got some Mossy Meadow on this. I'll just see if I've got enough. Just going to bring in some colour. I'm going to stamp and bring that round. Then I've got in here, doesn't want to come up, I've got a little strip of pattern paper. Make sure it's up the right way, and I'm going to put that just in there. Just get a small bit of glue. Because let's face it, we can't leave our inside naked. It's got to have something. I'm just going to pop that there. And that colour. Flip that over and trim that off. And then I'm going to take, I think I'll take the yellow one. I'm going to pop that there. And I'm going to take some leaves and I'm going to pop that together like so and just pop that in place. So I've just put a little bit of glue on the back of this. Pop my leaf in place. And then just maneuver that to fit. Pop that, and I will put a little tiny dot of glue under the leaves just to hold them, hold it in place. There we go. There's the inside of the card. Just a little bit of colour, still plenty of room to write because I don't write essays when I write cards. So I'll put a bit of glue on the back. Pop that down. And this does allow colour because it's such a bright, colourful piece of, oops, I'm in the wrong side, piece of DSP. And then I'll just pop that in there. And there's my card. Now, it is not an Anita card unless we have got some Wink of Stella. So I've got to put some Wink. Pop some Wink on there. And then I'll put a little bit on the inside because I can. And because, to me, Wink of Stella finishes off the card. So there we go. Looks like I could slap a little bit more on this one because I didn't seem to want to. That's a bit better. I must have picked up the one that wasn't quite as glittery. That's better. There we go. You can see the, I don't know if you can see the glitter on it, but it's definitely got the glitter on it this time. It didn't have it before. So there's a nice, beautiful card. Bright, cheerful. It's one that you can send to someone instead of sending a bunch of flowers. You can see the background of the vellum. You've got the colour. The colours are in the paper. And then you've got the inside. So that was the one that we've made. And the one I made earlier was this one, using a different piece of paper. Thank you, Lucia. Yes, you can't forget your inside. You can't have a naked one. So this one I stuck pretty much with the Calypso Coral because the colour is more in the paper. And again, I've added it just to the inside. This one I've used Basic Beige. And I love the way that came out. And I've got the vellum in here as well. So there you go. 2 cards, 2 very different looks. And that's because they're 2 very different pieces of paper. So they really make a difference. So I love it. I find this paper it just opens it up for you. And like here, as I've got all different colours, there I've stayed with the same colour, but the colours still blend in beautifully with the background. Excuse me. With the background of the thing. Yeah, I was pleased with the Calypso. I did this one very quickly this morning, but I wanted to do something completely different with the same sort of paper so that you can see that it's only your imagination that stops you. So they are great cards and I love the paper and there's just so much you can do. So I hope you've enjoyed what I've done today and these cards, I've got some ideas, so you never know. Next week I might be doing another card from this one because there is an idea in my head that's popped in my mind while I've been preparing today's card. I don't know about you guys, but, you know, sometimes inspiration comes from where you least expect it. So I will sketch that in my mind today. I've got plenty of leftovers. As you can see, I've been stamping like cloud cover on cloud cover, secrecy on cloud cover. There I've done stamped off early espresso on Petal Pink, and they're full strength. 2 different looks of flowers. I've got lots of flowers and that I can make more cards, and we can give you some more ideas. So there's an idea that's come to my mind, and we can pop that on a page and do something with it as well. So we might have something completely different next week. And because it's sitting in my head, I have to use it, don't I? And I might be doing something with these little strands. You never know. Anyway, I want to say thank you, everyone, for putting up with me today. Stuff-ups and all. But I hope I've given you inspiration. I hope I've given you an idea of how to do your stamps with the new folders, and we can go from there. So I hope you've enjoyed it, everyone, and I will look forward to seeing what you do, and we shall catch up with you again next week. Bye for now.